Hello, Jeff Raccoon 47, again with another one of my favorite knives. This knife is, of course, as you can tell, a dive knife. It's made completely out of stainless steel. Now these knives like this are a little harder to sharpen, a little harder to take care. All knives rust, but stainless steel rusts a little less than other knives. This doesn't have any much issues with rust. Does have some sharpening issues on it. I might have to get somebody a real person who's not a dingus to sharpen it with, like the last time I had a guy try to sharpen this. He did pardon my French, did a piss poor job of trying to sharpen it. Well, it wasn't his fault. He went and somebody else took it away from him and intentionally dulled it. It could be sharpened, but these knives had very unique features. You'll notice it has notice the handle, let me hold it like this, has a slight cant. This is done purposefully. It's done so you can also use this knife to do things like pry oysters off. It has a saw blade so you can cut through rope if you're tangled up in the rope underneath the ocean. Has a particularly good guard. But this, if you notice I don't know if you can see this. This is made by a company called U.S. Divers. That was a company that was made back. You don't see that company's no longer around, I don't think, but the Navy had a few contracts with them for certain equipment. The early Navy divers and all. You'll notice on the blade their numbers. That's so you can use this as a ruler. So when you can tell if the fish you were spearing were of legal length, you can hold this up to a fish. It's not only a dive knife, you can carry it with you while you're fishing. Since it's stainless, it wouldn't rust as quick as others. This pommel right here, that's what that thing on the end of a knife is called. Knife or sword. That's called a pommel. But that also adds a little weight so when you're diving, so you don't have to put additional lead weights on you. Knife can act as sort of a little bit of weight. This was called the Seahawk. A very similar knife like this Sean Connery had in the movie Thunderball. You saw that James Bond movie made back in the 1960s, the late to mid 1960s. Well, there's a special connection to this knife. I had this neighbor who was almost like a second father to him. His name was Mr. Nelson. He was cleaning out his storage shed one day. He had a bunch of stuff in there, and he called me over there and said, "Jeff, I got something for you. I'm going to let you have this." Give me this and an old holster for an old Western style holster for a revolver. That's why this is, like I said, Mr. Nelson was kind of like a second father to me. I know, help him out with stuff, and he'd give me old stuff like this for payment. Well, I just thought you'd like to see this, and you might enjoy seeing something very unique. As I say, this is part of history. A lot of maybe SEALs would buy this instead of getting the issue knife. This was back in the 60s when the SEALs first got started. A lot of them would buy knives like this as opposed to getting the ones that the Navy actually contracted. But I mean, there wasn't anything wrong with that, but this was a little bit better than. Well, I just thought you'd enjoy hearing a little bit about the history of this and about the things that I thought you might enjoy it. Well, have a nice night.